a truck, and you can literally like, you can even drive a donut truck.
Yeah. Donut Homer is my favorite out costume.
Donut Homer?
Yeah, from when he got his, when Devil Flanders turned his head into a donut.
Oh no.
In the Halloween episode.
I need to look this up. Costumes. Let's see. I need to see.
I will say though, the final missions in this game are brutally hard.
Oh yeah,
like
I remember watching you struggle.
The final 3 missions in the game are absurdly difficult.
Yep.
And I always remember like just like struggling to get, because they're timing based. Like you have to like one of this game's biggest problems in my hand is like there's some of the time limits are just downright unforgiving.
Yeah.
Especially like levels like Never Trust a Snake and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that nightmares.
But I mean, I guess they're meant to be challenging.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Bill, also known as the Barbecue Games on Instagram.
And I'm Alex, his sister, who brings only chaos.
And together we are the Gaming and Collecting Podcast, a mostly video game centered podcast.
But half the time, we just talk about anime.
And that collecting thing, well, that's mostly just an implication at best.
So come along and enjoy us on this adventure
as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, how you been?
I've been good. I've been very busy with work.
Yep.
But it's all very fulfilling work, so hooray!
Yep. No, I've been in the middle of a job hunt. Things are looking pretty good on that front, but I can't really divulge anything now.
Yep.
So we'll be going on. I mean, by the time you hear this, it's probably going to be months from now, but still.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a week since last time we recorded.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think it was like last week, but I don't remember it very well.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember potting that last week
either. Yeah. Well,
is that a good thing or a bad thing? Who knows?
This has been my first week of like unemployment in like probably a long time, so I've been kind of like, it's kind of all gone by in a blur because I've been doing a lot of stuff.
Job hunting,
resumeing, interviews, like
phone calls.
Stuff I can't divulge right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, my whole week's been very up and down. Other than that, though, nothing too crazy's gone on. I've been playing a lot of. I'm playing the Yakuza series right now, so I've been trying to get into that because those games are really fun. Like, you'll probably see me playing those in the future at some point.
Oh yeah.
More on that later, but other than that, though, we're currently together again because I'm visiting Alex for the weekend.
Yeah.
We've had some interesting adventures today.
Oh, yeah. We went on... Well, we had our favorite, the diner.
Yeah, we went out for... Well, yesterday she had to work, so I spent the entire day playing L.A. Noire.
Yep.
At her house. And then after that, we went and had a delicious... we went out for Italian, so we had Italian salads and...
Yep. Oh, and
buffalo chicken
dip, which really isn't Italian.
No, but it's so good.
And an Italian place. It is so delicious.
And then we came back home, hung out, watched some stuff, played RuneScape, did our annual RuneScape stuff.
We also, the first day you got here, we ended up watching 2 Jackass movies.
Oh, yeah, we watched Jackass Forever and the original just for the hell of it. We chilled for the most part, though, and then... Other than that, today we went out to the diner, and then Alex showed me some roads for something I can't talk about now.
Yes.
But we went to a... Your cat's she's like petting her cat, and her cat's getting very agitated.
I'm scratching your butt. She's like the only cat I've ever seen that doesn't like a butt scratch.
Tilly doesn't like contact in general.
She loves kisses.
Lovely.
She's literally leaning in for kisses as we speak.
Nice. See? But other than that, then we went out to this random mall, and that was an interesting experience.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was interesting. So, we ended up going, one to just walk around and stuff. And, I'm actually curious how many steps we got in. Oh, alright. I have to keep petting her.
But,
be angry.
So we were mostly just going to walk, because we didn't actually have the intention of buying anything, which we should have known.
Yeah, we should have known going to a mall. So, Went to a couple stores.
Wandered around. We're still continuously amazed by the amount of just anime stuff that's like everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's kind of crazy.
At a given time. So we stopped in a few stores, and one of them we stopped in was there's an old like anime like figure store there, which we always have to check out. And Alex had no intentions of buying anything, but of course
I did. I ended up buying a Luffy figure. It's my third Luffy, but I just love him.
I mean,
He's so
technically
cute.
fourth.
Oh, fourth, yes. With the Funko. But yep, I bought another Luffy. But this one's awesome because it has multiple faces, so you can swap the faces and like the arm out. No scratching the couch. So you can swap the face and like the arm out. So right now I have him stuffing his face with a thing of meat.
Because it's
and
Luffy.
he looks so cute. And I had to rearrange a bunch of my figures, but I actually really like how it came out. So I think it looks really good. I gotta post some of these on Twitter because I think I have them arranged pretty nicely. So yeah, so we did that, and then after that we went to Box Lunch, which we really like that store. It's like Hot Topic, but
it's just like nerdy. Well, it's funny because Hot Topic's pretty nerdy, like weeby now too.
Yeah, it's like Hot Topic, but like it's more centered around like franchises rather than Hot Topic has. I don't know.
It's a less edgy Hot Topic.
Less edgy, yeah. It's more
It's very weeby.
Yeah, it's weeby. It has good anime.
But it's like the
crock pots.
Yeah, you can get the Dragon Ball and
You
Sailor
get
Moon
Dragon
crock
Ball.
pot.
They had a Naruto crock pot. They had like a Sailor Moon crock pot, but I think that was.
But it's like one of the few stores where you can like reliably find like more obscure stuff, like Inuyasha and fruit baskets and stuff.
Well, they have nice shirts that like they aren't too. You know, like there's those anime shirts that you're just like are like, that's too much. Like I feel like they have a lot of them that are like very like, kind of stylish. You know. Oh, she's on the ottoman. So I like going there, but as we're going there and we're checking out...
Please don't rub on the mic, too.
No, I do what I want. As we were going there and I'm checking out, suddenly, like, the fire
alarm went off in the mall, and nobody was concerned, and Alex was kind of like, is that the fire alarm? And the employee at the store was very nice. She's like, no, they just do this every...
well, it was the fire alarm, but it wasn't like there was a fire.
No, it was. They were basically just trying to clear out the mall a little.
Yeah,
because the mall was packed.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then it started downpouring.
Yeah, like suddenly, but it was weird because like as soon as the fire alarm went off, it was suddenly just like, like downpour. You could hear it against like the walls and stuff, and we were like, oh shit! And of course that's when we're leaving, so we're like, oh no, oh no, oh no. So we go, and we're like, uh-oh. And then we look, and then it, like, stopped raining.
Yeah.
It literally was like a flash rain.
It was Flashdance.
Yeah, Flashdance.
But yeah.
DuckTales.
But yeah, that was our morning. So then we came back, and Alex got to rearrange her shelves. And...
Yeah, I really like how they look now, though. Like,
I also got the Inuyasha shot glasses.
Oh, yeah, those look so cool. I really like that. Oh, and I got 2 One Piece shirts, too. And a Haikyuu pin. Yeah.
Yep. But other than that, we're not drinking anything right now because it's still early.
It's like 2.
We haven't gone out for dinner yet, so.
Nope.
But besides that, we do have a topic for today's episode.
What?
So, we've mentioned these games in the past in other episodes, but this is going to be our first real deep dive. So, we grew up in the 90s, and one of the biggest things in the 90s was The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Which was probably one of the... Well, I mean, it still is one of the biggest shows out there, even if the modern seasons are nowhere near as classic as the Golden Age, which was seasons 3 to, like, 8.
Yeah.
Which is, like, the general consensus for most fans. So, one of the biggest things around this time, too, was the video games, because there was a ton of Simpsons tie-in games.
As we were, like, looking up for this episode, I was, like, kind of surprised at how many Simpsons games they made.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, holy crap.
And honestly, we should obviously start with the first one, which is arguably one of the most famous, and that's the arcade game.
Yeah, I remember there was a Papa Gino's near us, and it had the Simpsons arcade cabinet.
It had the Simpsons arcade cabinet.
And then also, but then also the place, we used to go to, like, this summer camp that was at our school. I think we've talked about it, but one of the field trips was at this place called United Skates.
Yeah, I remember
and it was
that.
this skating rink, but it also had like arcades and stuff. But one of them, in the skating rink, they had this, like, it wasn't hidden, but, like, you had to go on the skating rink to get to this arcade area.
Yeah, it was in the middle.
And back behind it, it had a bunch of the Simpsons arcade cabinets.
Mm.
So I vividly remember the Simpsons game, and we always would hang out.
Well, it was such an old... Because that came out in 91, so that was, like, right at the beginning of the series, like, lifespan, too. And that game is... It's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up made by Konami. It's very similar to their like, Ninja Turtles arcade games. And it's just you play as Bart... It's like Bart, Homer, Lisa, and Marge, and you can do, like, combination moves and attacks.
Yep.
And I always remember because it's, like... The plot is bizarre. It's, like...
Is it, like, aliens or something?
It's, like, Smithers is stealing a diamond.
Oh.
And
Smithers.
Yeah, Smithers.
Not even like Mr. Burns.
Well, he's involved, but Smithers is stealing a diamond and crashes into the Simpsons family, and the diamond falls in Maggie's mouth as like a pacifier, so they kidnap Maggie. And the whole plot is you got to rescue Maggie, and you go through a whole bunch of different stages to eventually fight Mr. Burns, who's the final boss, and he's like in a robot suit.
That's so bizarre.
It's a goofy. Well, it was so early in the canon, the Simpsons canon, quote unquote. That it had really such bizarre things for the time, and it's really weird playing it now compared to like back in the day. Unfortunately, this game is very hard to find now, like without emulation, because it's no longer it's an arcade only release, and aside from a few obscure PC systems.
Yeah.
It had a brief launch on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, but it's since been taken off.
Wow.
So it's not the easiest game to come across these days.
Yeah, and I'm sure the arcade cabinets, like a lot of them were destroyed and not well taken care of.
Probably not. They're definitely around though.
I wonder if that place is still open.
I have no idea, honestly.
I really want to know that now.
But anyways, so moving on. Then this is like the point where Simpsons games got kind of weird, because there was a ton of Simpsons games, like Bart versus the Space Mutants, all released for like the NES and like the Game Gear, the Master System.
And most of those ones were like Bart, like, and it was kind of like side scrolling, but
they would either be like side scrolling or like beat 'em ups, and they'd always be really crap, like Bart's House of Weirdness. Oh, another platformer. Bart Simpson's Escape from Camp Deadly. Like, these are all like Game Boy games and stuff. NES. Bart versus the World.
Yep.
That was another crappy action platformer. Krusty's Super Fun House. Now, this one I do actually remember because I have it on the Genesis.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it came with my Genesis when I bought it off of eBay. It came with a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
And it's like a side-scrolling puzzle game where you have to like... it's like maze-like levels where you have to like direct like rats and stuff. It's weird.
It's a Simpsons Krusty.
It's technically called Krusty's Funhouse, but the version I have is Krusty's Super Funhouse.
Okay.
It's okay. It's not amazing by any means. Like this isn't a groundbreaking title that everyone has.
I've seen this. Oh, it was also on the Game Boy.
Yeah, it was released for pretty much everything. I have the Genesis version.
Oh, okay. I'm like looking at like screenshots of it right now. It looks like side-scrolling platform.
Not really a platform. It's more of a puzzle game.
Oh, okay.
Then we had Bart versus the Juggernaut. There was a lot of... You can tell Bart was the main character of a lot of these games, because Bart was kind of the breakout character of The Simpsons early on.
Well, also, too, I feel like a lot of these games were, a lot of video games, they weren't really centered towards adults. They were centered more towards kids.
Yeah.
So probably picking Bart was more like, oh, Bart's the kid, so give this to my kid, you know?
And they were mostly like 2D action platformer beat-em-up games. One of the ones I remember the most is Bart's Nightmare, which was like a side-scrolling beat-em-up style game. I know it's very notoriously difficult, too. Like, it's been very known for that. It's not really a game I would play much these days. If I find it ever for the Super Nintendo, I might actually give it another shot. But it's another really early Simpsons game. There was a ton of these for a while. Bart Meets Radioactive Man. That's another old one. These were all released mostly for like the NES and like Game Gear and stuff. Bart and the Beanstalk. Like, the list goes on for a while. Virtual Bart. I remember this one too. This was interesting. That was another interesting one. Yeah, that one actually like tried to like make use of like cool effects and stuff. Itchy and Scratchy in Miniature Golf Madness.
Oh.
Some of these are just funny, like looking back, because like there's so many of them. There was the Itchy and Scratchy game,
Oh, okay. I think I saw that.
Simpsons Cartoon Studio. A lot of these were PC.
What's it?
Virtual Springfield. Now this one I do remember because this was like it was like an adventure game where you'd explore Springfield.
Oh.
Alex's cat is being psychotic
She's
in the background.
mind.
Treehouse. Night of the Living Treehouse of Horror.
Yep.
It's funny going through them because I vaguely remember these.
Yeah.
All right. Now here's where we get to one that's very well known for all the wrong reasons.
Oh boy.
Simpsons Wrestling.
Simpsons Wrestling.
Developed by Big Ape Productions.
Yep.
Now I don't own this game physically. I actually kind of want to track it down at some point, but
Sorry, my cat's trying to climb in the window and she's showing her butt to us, and it's a wonderful view.
Yeah. But anyways, I've been meaning to pick this one up just because it's kind of funny. Simpsons Wrestling. It was the lone Simpsons game to release for the PlayStation.
Oh.
And it is basically a 3D fighting wrestling game.
Oh, okay.
It controls like ass. Like the game is terrible.
Oh, it's awful.
But it's got like the full Simpsons. Yeah, I got a 32 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Yikes.
But so the game actually has like the full-on Simpsons cast like doing all their voice acting, and the acting's pretty funny. Like, what the problem with this game is it plays terribly. The controls are wonky as hell. Mm-hmm. Ned Flanders is broken because he's like the boss, and he has like an auto regeneration even in normal play.
Oh,
So
no.
if you're playing as Ned and you die, you regenerate and get a second life bar because it's so dumb.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That must have been Oh. What's wrong?
I guess she couldn't get in the window.
I don't know. Oh.
Hi, Tillard.
She's right next to the mic.
So now the next one is very interesting. Simpsons Road Rage.
Ah.
Now Road Rage is probably like one of the first quote unquote good Simpsons games, depending on how you want. Well, I mean, since the arcade game, depending on your opinion, your thoughts. Now,
Yep.
Simpsons Road Rage is interesting because it was developed by Radical Entertainment, who are one of those like developers who've made some really cool license games over the years.
Yep.
They also were known for the Prototype series later on. But so Simpsons Road Rage, for all intents and purposes, this is the era of Simpsons games where they're all ripping off other games. Seriously. Like Simpsons Wrestling was very much a ripoff of the WWE games.
Oh, that's so funny.
So Road Rage is literally Crazy Taxi. Like, it's not even like hiding it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the game's actually really good. Like, as a Crazy Taxi clone, it's not bad. It's full on the Simpsons world. It's got all the voice actors, some great dialogue, some music, a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh.
No,
Tillard, no.
not on the laptop, please.
Oh, God. I'll grab her. Hold on, people. We gotta grab... Oh, shoot. Oh, God. Oh, okay. I got her.
Okay. We can't have a cat sitting on the laptop.
Yeah,
but,
she might mess things up, so I got her.
But yeah, it's basically like Crazy Taxi throughout Springfield, playing a whole bunch of casts, all with the different like locations in Springfield. The thing about it was, though, it was such a ripoff that Sega actually sued.
Wasn't it over the pointer?
Well, that was one of the things they sued about, because I guess Crazy Taxi, Sega actually trademarked the little arrow cursor at the top that told you where to go.
Yeah.
And ironically, in future games, to get around that, they just created the mini maps with like the little mini map icons and stuff, which is what's become the standard
Yeah.
for most great games like this now. So Sega basically shot themselves in the foot, like, and just people just adapted essentially. But it is hilarious how much of a ripoff it is.
That's so fun. I remember you, I kind of like when we first brought it up, I couldn't remember Road Rage, but then I looked up pictures and I was like, I remember this. Because I remember, didn't you like throw people, like when you drop people off, it like literally ejected them from the car and then you like moved on?
They'd kind of jump out of it sometimes.
Yeah. I just remember it being really funny.
It's a
I remember
goofy
you
game.
playing a ton of it. Like, I think you beat the game.
It's not hard to beat. It's basically you just keep playing, make money, and then unlock everything, and then you're done.
Yeah. Because it gave you the option to like unlock a bunch of the different cars, like famous in the Simpsons games, right? Like Mr. Plow,
Yeah,
Plow King,
whole bunch of stuff.
whole bunch of different cars.
Now, then following that, then we got. So this is one of the absolute worst Simpsons games ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons Skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
Now, we didn't own this one,
like
but
a Tony Hawk ripoff?
Oh, it is a complete Tony Hawk ripoff in every way, shape, or form. So, this game was developed by the Code Monkeys software, I believe, which is the same studio that made that awful Shrek game on PlayStation 1 and the goofy Funhouse game.
Yep.
It's literally, it tries so hard to rip off Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
And it fails at it in like every way possible.
Oh, God.
Like, it is such a ripoff in every sense of the way. Like, the
The
controls are the controls are terrible.
Go.
The intro music is like this like reggae version of the Simpsons theme song.
Oh.
That's super goofy. I don't know why surfing always not surfing. Skateboarding games always had like reggae music.
Yeah, I think it was just like a poorly chosen stereotype.
It doesn't even make sense.
No, yeah, it doesn't make
Well,
sense.
because that's why Tony Hawk did like punk rock and stuff and
Yeah.
alternative. Yeah, but the game is horrendous. Like it's only you only play it for a laugh. In all honesty,
Oh, wow.
like it looks god awful
I want to
too.
look it up.
Like the 3D models are so, ew.
Let me see.
But there is admittedly just something funny about Homer riding a skateboard.
Well, it's just funny. Could you did it like give you the option to play as like other Simpsons characters
Yeah,
besides
Marge,
just the family?
Krusty was in there. I
The
think
worst game.
Professor Frink.
I literally looked up images and it literally says the worst game. Oh wow, that looks glitchy.
Oh yeah, no, the game's horrendous. It's
Also looks like he has. Oh no, it does. I don't know.
it and wrestling are considered the worst.
Also,
Probably two of the worst
this
Simpsons
is-
games.
There's no way she could be skateboarding in that tube dress. Like,
Shh.
there's no way that wouldn't work.
Don't question it. Yeah, but that one is infamously bad. Like I kind of want to find a copy of it just to have, just for the
Just to try it out, you know.
well, to play it again because I only rented it. That was a miserable Blockbuster experience, by the way. Okay, you're scrolling too far on Google now. All right, but following that, so after skateboarding, then we get quite possibly the most well-known Simpsons game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get onto that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Tiller.
And we're back.
We're back.
Okay, so the next game to release for The Simpsons, so obviously skateboarding took place in between Road Rage and this next game.
Mm-hmm.
So the next game is The Simpsons Hit and Run, which is quite possibly one of the most beloved Simpsons games ever made.
Yep.
Now, Simpsons Hit and Run was also made by Radical Entertainment, and I believe it runs off an updated version of the engine that ran Road Rage.
Yep.
Because it has a similar driving engine. And so Simpsons Hit and Run, so like how Road Rage was basically a Crazy Taxi ripoff,
Yep.
Hit and Run is by all intents... Hi, Tillard. Is by...
She really wants to be on this podcast.
Yeah, she does. But anyways, so Hit and Run, by all intents and purposes, is like literally GTA for
Yeah.
Simpsons.
Grand Theft Auto.
So what makes Hit and Run so good is not only is it actually a really solid, like, it's not open world like Grand Theft Auto is. It's more like semi-open world.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like there's 3 different areas that you can explore, although there's 6 total like levels.
Yep.
With a whole bunch of side missions, kind of like Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 primary areas, although they're different times of the day depending on which character you're playing as at a different time.
Yep.
And this game was released for the PlayStation, GameCube, Xbox, and PC. And the best version is debatably the Xbox version, just by how smooth it runs.
Mm-hmm. But we had the PlayStation version.
We grew up with the PS2 version, although I have the original Xbox version now, which I've been playing recently. Mostly because our version for the PS2 is kind of jank.
Yeah.
Because it's been well played.
It was yes. This was a favorite. Probably.
Oh yeah. We played the hell. I've replayed this game so many times.
Yeah.
But what makes this one kind of cool though is they actually got like the Simpsons writers involved to actually write the game's plot, which makes it's like a very engaging plot. And there is so many references to the show.
Yeah.
Like all the different cars you can unlock, all the different outfits, like
all
certain
the
characters
the characters you interact with too.
So you're able to play as obviously Homer, Bart, Lisa, Marge, and Apu.
Yeah.
And then you play as Bart and Homer 2 additional times.
Yeah.
So you play as Homer and
wait, Apu?
Yeah, Apu's playable.
It's so random.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of like one of the main characters by that point in the show's run, before they just stopped including him in the show. But yeah, so you play as Homer and Bart twice, and then everyone else one time, and each have their own level. And the game has an overarching plot that's really goofy. Like there's like alien like B cameras all over the place that are like filming things, and there's like this like mind control Buzz Cola going around.
Yeah, and isn't like Mr. Burns involved or something?
No, Mr. Burns isn't involved. He just is part of the plot at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really goofy plot, but it so perfectly fits. And the gameplay is really fun because you kind of you walk around, explore. You don't have to like follow the story. You can just explore the town area. Find all sorts of hidden collectibles and stuff, like trading cards, which are all also references to episodes.
Yep.
There's a full-on like Itchy and Scratchy short that's made that you can unlock if you get all the cards.
Oh, that's cool.
The coolest part is the outfits though, because they're all references to different
different like episodes and stuff. Like there's the one like where he's in the moo.
Yeah, Homer's moo the Stonecutters, Bartman.
Yep.
Lisa hockey outfit, her cool outfit. Marge is a police officer.
Yep.
Her prison outfit. I forget what Apu's. Oh no, Apu's is like the American one.
Oh yeah.
I think his B Sharp's outfit at one point. A whole bunch of fun, cool outfits entirely. Also,
and the cars are really cool too, because like
they're 3D models recreated of like all the classic like iconic cars from the franchise.
Yeah.
Including the Candenaro.
Yeah.
Candenaro.
Well, and they have like all the. I'm looking at like a tier list right now. There's literally like a rocket car.
Oh yeah, there's also
rocket cars.
There's the hidden cars too, because there's like the rocket car, the speedboat, the monorail. Yeah, the speedboat, the monster truck. Yeah, there's like an RC car you can drive.
There's like a police car.
Stretch limo.
There's
all
like
sorts
Krusty's like clown car.
Yeah.
And clown car limo.
And the levels are all fun.
Fire truck. And you can literally like. Oh, you can even drive a donut truck.
Yeah. Donut Homer is my favorite costume.
Donut Homer?
Yeah, from when he got his. From when Devil Flanders turned his head into a donut.
Oh no.
In the Halloween episode.
I need to look this up. Hit and run costumes. I need to see.
I will say though, the final missions in this game are brutally hard.
Oh yeah,
like
I remember watching you struggle through them.
Final 3 missions in the game are absurdly difficult.
Yep.
And I always remember like just like struggling to get, because they're timing based. Like you have to like one of this game's biggest problems in my hand is like there's some of the time limits are just downright unforgiving.
Yeah.
Especially like levels like Never Trust a Snake and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that nightmares.
But I mean, I guess they're meant to be challenging.
Yeah. I mean, the game controls so
cursed. So cursed.
The game controls so well though that it's not really a problem. But yeah, other than that though, the game is phenomenal. It's developed such a cult following over the years.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the 3D models are a little scary nowadays, but
But it has such a cult following to the point where like people are going out of their own way to remake like
like remasters and stuff. Honestly, it's probably a licensing issue, but I really wish they'd do like a remaster of this game at some point. Alex's cat is being a nuisance for this whole.
She's being a little shit right now.
Yeah, here she comes.
Here she comes, Miss America.
But
Hello.
yeah, so for like I think still to this day, Hidden Run is considered probably like, besides the arcade game, is like the best Simpsons game.
Oh yeah, you forgot to mention too about the creator when he tested the
Oh,
game out.
Yeah, when Matt
Oh my
Groening.
god, what the hell is she doing?
Tilly's losing her mind over there. Yeah, when Matt Groening first playtested the game, he had actually, like, the first thing he did was kick Marge with Homer.
Yeah, because it's one thing you can do to all the characters. You can just kick them,
You can also,
and they just like fly across the ground.
yeah, you also just drive anyone's car at any time.
You can
Bart
bend
actually,
people over.
yeah, Bart actually does
So
the whole
cool.
tutorial narration. He's like sarcastic about it the whole time.
Mm.
The game's sense of humor is great. It's actually funnier than The Simpsons, the show, actually was at the time it came out.
Oh wow.
Like, it's funny how that works.
Mm.
Honestly, the only thing it's missing is like a Sideshow Bob cameo.
Mm.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know if he was in.
Yeah, I
that
don't think
yet.
he was in Hidden Run. But anyways, then moving on from Hidden Run. So there was kind of a gap after Hidden Run for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2003, the next one that came out was in '07, and we got The Simpsons game. And The Simpsons game it's not a tie-in to the movie. It was just kind of released around the time the Simpsons movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Because the plot is fully original. It was written by the Simpsons writers at the time.
Yep.
And so the game it's like an action platformer beat 'em up game, like 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And it was released for pretty much every system on the market at the time. I believe actually part of the advertising campaign, they made a joke saying it was coming out for like every console ever made.
Yeah.
And they actually had just images of like all these different consoles that don't make games anymore.
Yep.
And I remember people were like, some people actually thought that was serious.
Oh god.
But the game was made, so this was around the point where EA got the license back.
Yep.
And the game was actually made by EA Redwood Shores, later known as Visceral Games,
Mm-hmm.
the studio behind like Dead Space. But they also made the My Sims games. Believe it or not,
Oh.
they did
funny.
a ton of stuff for EA at the time. They were one of EA's like main just pump out shit studios.
Mm-hmm. But this wasn't shit, right?
No, they didn't really make bad stuff. They just pumped out a lot of games at once.
A lot of game. Yep.
But this game was interesting because it was, so it was very, very self-referential to both The Simpsons themselves and video games.
Yep.
And there was a ton of like video game references. Like there was a whole video game cliches like thing where it's like every time you unlock a cliche, like comic book guy would like reference it like in this whole like it was like a collectible essentially, like defined. And all the story was cool too because it was like it's like Bart gets like a game manual falls from the heavens and it like allows them to all have super different powers and stuff that they can use to get through these different unusual circumstances. And I remember like the first level of the game is literally like the land of chocolate from an old Simpsons episode. It's such a fun game.
Yeah, it doesn't like the donut sign come to life
At one point, and that's a boss. The game also uses cell shading, so it looks a lot like the
I
show.
was gonna say that. It does look a lot like the show from like the screenshots I'm looking at. It does look fun though.
It is, and I believe you could co-op play it too.
Oh really?
We should probably break that out again and try it again.
Yeah,
at some
that would
point.
be fun. Especially where I feel like we probably did try, but I was very poor at video games at the time, so it might be fun to retry again, where I'm much more proficient in video games.
It's funny though because it ends up like being like later on that like as you get through the plot, like at one point you actually run into like Will Wright out of nowhere.
Oh really?
The Sims creator, and then Matt Groening's a boss, and like he actually plays himself in the game, and he sends.
Conan in any of these games?
I don't think so. But
That's a shame. Conan deserves it. He was a writer.
he was. But what's fun about the Matt Groening boss is he actually like he because his way of attack is he draws like creations to like attack you, and he just draws Benders and Dr. Zoidbergs from Futurama to fight you, and they actually got like the voice actors too to actually voice them during the game.
Oh, that's funny.
But eventually you end up getting to the final area of the game is heaven.
Yep.
And it turns out that the game manual was actually gods, and he knocked it off his cloud by accident. That's how Bart
And
got
that's
it.
how you. That's actually really funny. That's so silly.
And I think you actually the final boss is like you do like this like Guitar Hero style fight against God, and like you have to destroy his video game consoles, which are like the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Oh my god.
Some stupid shit like that.
That's hilarious.
And then if the game basically ends like that, it's funny. It's a very self-aware game overall.
Yeah.
And
The humor was good.
after that,
Was there another game after that?
So there was, but they weren't super anything special. Like there was a bunch of mobile games. Like there was like Minutes to Meltdown, Itchy and Scratchy Land. There was a different Simpsons arcade game which wasn't nearly as well remembered. There was Tap Out. I remember Tapped Out. That was like another mobile thing. It was like a city building game.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah. Other than that, it was like the last real like game that mattered though was the Simpsons game.
Yeah.
Honestly, good game, kind of overshadowed by Hit and Run in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like they both have their strengths and weaknesses. Honestly, it's interesting because the Simpsons have they're such a cultural icon by this point.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, do you see them everywhere? Like there's memes of them. Like everyone's seen the meme of like him like
Homer
going in
and out of the bush. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, Simpsons seasons 3 through 8 are like you can watch every single episode in those seasons front to back, and you like every one of them is memorable. Like you'll remember something from every single episode from those seasons.
Well, and I feel like too, like we grew up with The Simpsons, and when we rewatch it now, there's so many things that we missed. Or,
Well,
like,
yeah,
just
because
didn't
it's not
understand
a
as
kids show.
But we watch it. But even as a kid, I still remember really enjoying it.
Well, yeah, it was never too over the top.
Yeah.
But there's like so many references that you can just pull out of nowhere because they're so. It's just such a good show.
Yeah,
like
we were
those
chatting
classic
earlier,
episodes.
Oh yeah, like there was a car in front of us, and then I was like, "Oh, baby on board," and then the first
and
thing
we started
singing
the baby on board song from
the barbershop quartet.
The barbershop quartet episode. Oh man, those were so.
That's probably my favorite episode.
That's honestly my favorite part about the Disney Plus is the Simpsons are all on there now every season. Although there's a few episodes missing for reasons, like particularly Stark Raving Dad.
Yeah.
For reasons that I don't want to get into.
And then there's like I was listening to music, and then Louie starts playing, and then
I always remember because there's a lot of songs that appeared in Simpsons. You know what I think is the best that unfortunately a lot of people will never really experience now is the Simpsons DVD sets that they don't really release anymore.
Yeah. But I remember like you collected them like religiously, and
Well, at the time I had seasons 3 through 7.
Yep.
I didn't have 8, so I didn't have like the golden era, but I've since recollected those because they're just cool to have.
Yeah. Freaking just attacked me.
Tillard's being a little bitch today.
Yeah, she's being very bitchy today. She's spicy. Well, since we left her this morning, she's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
She's leaving for a kiss.
But one of the coolest things about those DVD box sets were they did full on commentaries for every single episode. Like not just like some episodes, like some shows. It was like every single episode.
Every single one had commentary.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the reason to get those collector's sets because that's like the best part about it. Just hearing some of the behind the scenes things and like what happened like with each episode. Honestly, I have to go back and like listen to those at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a shame there hasn't really the show's gone such downhill since.
Yeah, because I don't even see like funny clips anymore from like the current. I feel like if you ever see like a funny clip compilation, it's always from that golden age.
Yeah, and maybe a handful from like the later episodes.
Yeah.
The show just took such a downfall, especially from the turn of the millennium. Like
after the movie.
Even before the movie.
Even before, but I feel like after the movie it was like...
It was around 2001, like when they changed, when the showrunners changed around again, because they've had the same showrunner. Ironically, the showrunner they have now is like he was showrunner, Al Jean, I believe his name is. He was showrunner during like season 3 and 4, which is like the part of the golden age. Granted, it was with Mike Reiss as well, but he's been the showrunner for like years now, and it's like it just feels like they've kind of hit a wall and they're just keeping it going to keep it being the longest show
Yeah.
of all time.
I mean, there's only so far where you can go, and sometimes, like, it's better to end something than, like,
Stretch it out beyond
dragging it
belief.
along.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things it's going on for so long, but it's kind of a cultural icon at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
No,
I still remember
is.
I remember when the movie came out though, and that was like the biggest thing ever.
Oh, yeah. And, like, they were, like, making, like, making Quickie Marts.
Yeah, they were turning
stuff,
7-Elevens into Quickie Marts.
Yeah, I just remember it was, like, a huge... that was, like, so big. And, like, I feel like... I mean, like, I didn't think the movie was bad, but I feel like they overhyped that movie.
Well, the movie wasn't awful, but I mean, it was still kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
It's a Simpsons movie.
Because I couldn't tell you the plot. I know, like, didn't they, like... Weren't they getting arrested or something? And, like, it had, like, a dome around
Homer polluted the lake, and the lake became super toxic, and then they got put a dome over them, and then they were going to blow the dome up, and Simpsons were on the run. It was weird.
Yeah.
A very goofy, odd movie.
Yeah. But...
I'm kind of glad the game wasn't based off the movie, and it was just an original plot, to be perfectly honest.
I thought it was for a second, but then when you said it wasn't, I was like, oh, okay. And then now that I'm thinking about the movie, I'm like, oh, yeah. I don't know how they would have made a movie a game based off that movie. I just don't see what it would...
It's for the better that they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, honestly, like, going on, like... Simpsons is classic, like, especially the golden era. I think Futurama was, like, a better show overall.
Yeah.
And I watched a bit of Disenchanted, the newest show he's done.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
I watched the first season. It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, that's probably about it. This was definitely going to be a shorter one.
Yeah, but, I mean, sometimes it's nice to have a little shorter one.
Yeah, just a break, a break in the monotony.
Yeah. And it was nice to talk about something different, because I've especially, like, thinking back on those memories, like, of, like, the arcade cabinets at, like, Papa Gino's. I mean, we used to go with, like, our dad all the time. Like, he would take us to Papa Gino's, and then we'd, you know, those summer camps weren't that fun, but I remember United Skates was always, like, one of the fun ones,
yeah,
you know.
Well, just to play arcade games.
Yeah. Well, skating was fun, too. You like roller skating.
I like it now. Back then, I wasn't really good at it.
Well.
Hindsight. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for joining us once again on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast is made on Anchor Podcast, and you can find us on all your major podcasting platforms, particularly Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, along with Good Pods, and we will see you all next time.
And Tilly will be here, too. Uh-oh, no.
Don't get on the laptop, please.
She's being so naughty. Oh, she rubbed on the mic.
Please don't rub on the mic. All right, I'm going to end this before something disastrous happens. So we'll see you all next time.
See you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I hope they caught that.